Alright, what's happening? So I tried to film this video yesterday and just babbled for a bit too long. I'd get annoyed, I'd stop the video. Probably the fourth time I tried showing the record, lifting my fucking arms up, I hit my tripod, camera fell, records fell. It was a big fucking mess. And that was sort of my tipping point. After that, I was like, I'm fucking done for the day. So we are in the second day of the making of this motherfucking video. Hopefully I can get this to work this time. And I realized a while ago that I said I kind of wanted to start showing a couple 7-inches with the 12-inch records in these videos, just to sort of make a dent, because I've gotten a lot of them over the last year. So that's what I'm going to do in this video. Besides the 5 12-inch records I'm going to show you, I also have 2 7-inch records. And before we get started, this is what we're listening to, if you can hear it. Candelabrum, The Gathering, just some nice background noise, and plus I really love this compilation. Before I do what I did yesterday and ramble a bit too much, I'm just going to get into it. So let's look at some records. First of these 2 7-inches here, I have a 2017 EP. This is Lucifer Ascends by Warlog. I'm not exactly sure if that's how you pronounce the band name, but it's W-A-R-L-O-G-H-E. Warlog, I'm honestly not sure. And really, I was completely unfamiliar with this band until this year. And that is a real shame, because Warlog here has been around since like 95. I'm not sure how many full-length albums or whatever they've put out. Honestly, this is the only thing that I've heard. And from what I can see on the back here, I think this might be a one-man project. I've had this for a while, but honestly I haven't done any research to see what else this band has done. I just remember seeing that they've been around since like 95, and this is a 2017 EP. So 2 songs. The first song on this thing, Lucifer Ascends, is a bit faster, while the second song, side B on this 7-inch, is In Hunger and in Thirst. That's a bit slower, a bit more evil. It's got a really dark melody to it. It's really fucking good. And I prefer the slower track on this thing. But I will show you the packaging here. There's the front cover, real simple, just the band name. You got this border around it. There's the back. I assume that might be the one and only band member. You got the track listing right here, Lucifer Ascends and In Hunger and in Thirst. Put out on Northern Heritage, and this is numbered, but it is black marker on a black cover. But I have number 484 out of 500. And at the very top here, a little passage that says, utter the word of the coming aeon that will lead us back under the yoke of the one great nightmare. Really cool, and you also get a print in a sheet here, which looks like that. It's very nice, and on the back of this, you have lyrics. Super cool. And the vinyl itself is just black, but you got the Northern Heritage label, and then the band logo right there. Really nice. So this thing is actually pretty pricey on Discogs. I think it goes for like $35 or something like that. Luckily I got it for like $8, so I'm pretty pleased with it. It's a great release, and I do want to look up more from this project. So check it out if you're not familiar. That's Warlog with Lucifer Ascends. Alright, the next 7-inch I have here is also a new release from probably one of my favorite active bands. This is Vulture with Vendetta. Obviously, most of us probably know, Vulture put out a new album this year called The Guillotine, and the very first track on The Guillotine is a song called Vendetta. So they put out a separate little 7-inch with the track Vendetta, and on the B-side there's a song called Stormbringer, which is a Deep Purple cover. I don't know shit about Deep Purple. Listening to the song itself is probably not my thing, but the style that Vulture does it in is incredible. I absolutely fucking adore this band. But here's the packaging here. So there's the front cover, really cool with the band logo and like the gloved hand with a knife going into it. On the back you see a picture of the band playing live, and the track listing here. There's side A is Vendetta, side B is Stormbringer, put out on High Roller Records, pretty nice quality. And I had a couple options for the color record that I wanted, but I opted for the clear vinyl, which is very clear, super nice. I think it's 250 copies if I'm not mistaken. There's one side, it says The Guillotine, Vendetta, and the other side which tells you which song is on which side. Only problem with this is the songs are on the opposite side that this says it is. So you see here, it says this side is the track Vendetta and the other side is Stormbringer. No, actually this side is Vendetta. So labels are on the wrong side. Well done, High Roller Records. But besides that, it doesn't come with anything, no inner sheet or anything like that. But yeah, Vendetta's a great song. Vulture is a great fucking band, and I am always looking forward to whatever these guys do next. So, yep, Vulture, Vendetta. Moving on to 12-inch records, and as I was just talking about Vulture, I figured I would keep talking about Vulture for a little bit longer. This is the Guillotine. This is the new 2017 debut album from Vulture. And any of you guys who haven't heard Vulture at this point, you're seriously missing out, because, like I said, this is probably one of my favorite active bands. And I know that's probably a bit controversial, because these guys don't have that much. I mean, literally, they have their first album, that 7-inch, and this new 12-inch here. But everything this guys have put out has been nothing short of fucking perfect. And it's sort of like, I guess you could call it like speed metal, or sort of like thrashy speed metal. I'm not really familiar with the genre that this would fall under, but all I can tell you is that despite the genre, like I said, it's fucking perfect. So there are 8 songs on this thing, and I would say my favorite is the song Electric Ecstasy, which is the last song on the first side. Besides that, Vendetta is a really good song. Cry for Death, Triumph of the Guillotine, it's all fucking good. But let me show you the packaging here. There's the album cover, probably my favorite album cover of like everything that's come out this year. It's super fucking cool. You can obviously see Guillotine being hit by lightning, couple of hands, and then a pair of hands pulling the lever. Really fucking good. There's the back, get the track listing and the band members here at the bottom. This does come with lyrics, which is a really cool layout here. I like the guillotine in the center. But you got all the lyrics for all the songs. Guitar solos are indicated by knives and razor blades. And just some credits on the other side of this inner sheet here with the band members. Thanks list, shit like that. Now there were a bunch of colors for this. A lot of the colors I would have liked to have had. However, I got the black vinyl because it was the earliest thing that was available to me, and I wanted this record as soon as possible. Really cool label on that side. And the other side is just the band members, track listing, shit like that. And I think this was limited to like 500 copies, and 100 of them were like on like a sort of electric blue color. So 400 copies on black vinyl. Perfectly happy with it. Maybe eventually I'll get one of the other colors, because I could just see myself kind of getting everything from this band. It's fantastic. If you haven't heard it, fucking hop on it. Now is the time. Check it out. It's Vulture with the Guillotine. This is another newer record into my collection, and I fucking adore this one. This is Command with Sturmengrief. Sturmengrief, I have no idea. So those of you who aren't familiar with Command, they're from Brazil. They've been around for a while, and they've only put out one full length, and this is that one full length. I believe this came out in 2004, and even then it was only put on cassette and CD. So finally in 2017, Bestial Burst put it out on vinyl for the very first time. And if you've never heard of Command before, I would explain the music as very simple, slow, very catchy riffs. I love the vocals. It's just really good, almost like that sort of marching sound that you get with a lot of this NS stuff. This does that absolutely perfectly. There's a lot of sound samples on this. A lot of it's in German. I believe maybe some of it isn't, but there's actually quite a few songs on this thing too. 15 altogether, including an Absurd cover, The Gates of Heaven, which is a fucking fantastic song from Absurd, and Command has done a really good job of it too. Let me just show you the packaging here. There's the front cover there, pretty cool. That's the album title. I'm not exactly sure if I've been saying it correctly, but close enough. There's the back, you got the track listing and shit like that. Like I said, there is an Absurd cover on here, which is pretty cool. Put out on Bestial Burst, and I believe it's limited to 500 copies, and it's too fucking glossy. This is just black vinyl, but the labels are like comically simple. There is side A right there. It just says Command 33.3 RPM, side 1, and the other side has literally nothing on it. It's just black vinyl, simple, straight, to the point, good. Now confusingly, there is a sort of paper lyric sheet here, but it's only got lyrics to 4 songs, so not really sure why only these 4, but the lyrics are very offensive. But fuck all that. I think all of us watching are adults, and I think we can all pull our panties out of our ass and not start an argument over ideologies. If any of you haven't heard Command, for the love of God, listen to this right here. Like I said, it's lo-fi, slow, simple, catchy, fucking like black metal. So really, really good. You guys need to hear this thing. That's Command with Sturmengrief. next up here, we have an album that came out in 2015, and this is actually the third debut album that I'm showing in this video, which was not planned. This is Cavern with Aux Frontieres du Monde. I probably should have looked up what that translates to, but I didn't, sorry. So, I've had a big fucking boner for this project from the second I found out about this project. I think I own everything this guy's put out at this point. This was sort of the cap, the one that I still needed. But at first, this was only on CD, which I do have. But I think it was earlier this year when this actually got the vinyl treatment. And if you guys have never heard Cavern before, it's probably my favorite running French black metal project. They sort of take on epic, atmospheric black metal that's not overly epic or overly atmospheric. The vocals are real loud and they're like howly, and there's times where it's like clean singing, and it'll even go into like acoustic sections to bridge songs and shit like that. The instrumentation on this thing is just fantastic from start to finish, I guess is what I'm trying to say. If you guys have heard any of the Cavern stuff, it is all pretty similar. Nothing is too different from everything else, but that's okay with me because it's all really, really good. I'll show you the packaging here because I really, really love the album cover. There's the front there, really cool. Some copies, if you guys have seen, were like burned. I guess that was an artistic choice. From what I remember, some of the jackets were a bit damaged, so basically they took them, burned some of the copies, and just sent them out anyways. There's the back there, like I said, Northern Heritage and Resilience, really cool. There's the man behind Cavern right there. You got the track listing on the side. And a really nice addition to the packaging here, we have a booklet. And basically this is kind of the same as like the CD booklet. It's just got lyrics and shit like that. But it's all in French, so useless to me. Again, the vinyl is just black, but the labels are kind of cool. You got the Resilience label on that side and Northern Heritage on that side. And like I said, it is black vinyl. So I think if there's anything I talk about in this video that you guys need to hear besides Vulture, it would be Cavern. I'm sure most of you guys have probably heard it by now. If you haven't, you're seriously missing out. Check it out, it's Cavern with Aux Frontieres du Monde. From France, we move to Sweden. This is LXXI with In Total Contempt of All Life. So this is one of the two full-length albums that LXXI put out in 2014. And honestly, I'm not sure if I remember which one came out with this one. I'm not sure if it was the Total Desecration album or the other one that came out, which I don't remember the name of. And of course, most of you probably know that LXXI is an Ancient Records band. However, I think the difference with LXXI is the fact that this is a lot more fast and aggressive than things like Bequette Nexamu or Grave is, for example. So real fast, tight instrumentation. The vocals are great, the sort of just standard like black metal reg. But every now and then it'll go into like a sort of yelly type vocal and you'll get the occasional ooh. Great dark atmosphere, just a great fucking record, man. This band has put out only good releases so far. I don't have all of them because for the most part they're largely interchangeable and some of them are very expensive. But I'm sure eventually I will have all of them because they're all very good. Let me show you the packaging here because this one probably has my favorite of the three LXXI album covers. This front cover right there, we've seen a million album covers that look very similar to this, but they're all really cool, so I don't mind. There's the back cover there, you got the two members, track listing, shit like that. Pure Swedish metal. And I like the sort of thing at the bottom here. It says, black metal is total hatred for everything, no compromise. Fuck your trends and friendly hippie black metal scene, fuck you. And you have a gatefold here, cool picture of the member there. And then you have lyrics on this side, very nice. And we're 4 for 4 so far with the black vinyl. And the only reason I took this out was to show you this label because it's really fucking good. But all in all, this band has made a lot of waves pretty recently, so I suspect that all of you guys have probably heard this by now. If you haven't heard this album or even anything by this band, you can really start anywhere. Just start with whatever I fucking decide to put in the little sound sample of this video. Really, really good stuff. Check it out. That's LXXI with In Total Contempt of All Life. Finally here, here, another really glossy fucking cover. This is Evil Feast with Funeral Sorcery. So this is the second album from Evil Feast, and I believe this album came out in 2005, if I'm not mistaken. But everything that Evil Feast has done is really good, sort of epic, symphonic, ambient-ish black metal. It's very cold, the vocals are very distant, and this album is almost an hour long, so if you like that thing, you get a lot of it with Funeral Sorcery here. But it's nice. Some of the sound samples on this thing are really cool. You sort of get the occasional sound of like bells and water and stuff like that. It's really, really cool. It adds to the atmosphere. And overall, the atmosphere on this album is really fucking good. In terms of the instrumentation, it ranges from pretty, it can be sad. It's very, very just good all the way around. And despite having been put out in 2005, this is the first time this thing's been put on vinyl. And Amor Fati did it, and I think they did it this year. If not, it was late last year. But let me show you the packaging here. There's the front cover, really, really cool. I like the album cover. There's the back, you got Grim Spirit himself, Amor Fati, track listing, and I have number 24 out of 500. On the inside of this glossy motherfucking gatefold, you have all the lyrics, very nice. And once again, it is just black vinyl. Alright, forgive the angle if it changed at all. My camera died, I had to charge it for a bit, and now we're back. But one thing they did with this that I thought was pretty cool as an addition is they added some pictures that Grim Spirit himself had taken in Poland. So I'm not sure how many there were altogether, but you got like basically a random mix of 4 of them. So I'll just show you one by one here. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3, and there's 4. So that's quite cool. I'm not sure I've ever seen this like sort of pictures that the artist himself had taken as an addition to any record before. So really, really cool inclusion. Happy to have it. So like I said, almost an hour of appropriately symphonic, raw, ambient, epic, atmospheric black metal. I'm hoping that there's something new to come from Evil Feast sooner rather than later, because everything that this project has done has been really, really good, and I expect that whatever comes out next will be really good as well. So if you haven't heard Evil Feast, for the love of God, start somewhere, just check out something. But for now, that's Funeral Sorcery. That's it. That's 5 more records, 5 more 12-inch records, 2 7-inches. I'm going to try and start doing that in every video. We'll see how it works. It didn't go so well last time I said that. I already have another stack of 5 records that I'm going to show in a future video. I don't know when I'll make it. I'm sure it'll be sooner rather than later. But it won't be that long either way. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and hopefully I can edit it to be not so fucking long. So thanks for sticking around, and till next time. Later.